Hey everybody, this is Tom at Talent Guitar Works. It's Friday. I missed my Sunday, Monday video that I usually put out for you guys because this week has been super busy. Starting off with Monday, the 20th of January, we had Pike Electric come out. They're a contractor for Florida Power and Light, and they installed the post, the pole, the ground, the transformer. They installed the 3 legs and the anchor going to my mast, and then finally the meter inside the meter base, and we are switched hot. We have power. I still have to call the county and get my final inspection, which is just a walkthrough and go, yep, it's on, and we see it's on, and it's okay. So I'm going to be doing that next week. I also, on Tuesday, got my 1968 Fender Pro Reverb back. Now, I bought this amplifier from a guy who got a divorce and was moving to California, said he couldn't take it with him, and I knew there were problems with it because he offered it to me for $400, and I explained he could get more for it if he stopped at a Guitar Center. And he said he tried that already. So I took the big chance. I bought it for $400. I took it to my buddy Stosh. Stosh is the best tube amplifier repairman I know. And he's right here in Venice, Florida, just down the road from me. I've taken a bunch of amps to him over the years. He built an amp that I'm going to show on the channel later on for me. It's a 15 amp Bassman clone. So it's got the whole Bassman circuitry at 15 amps, and I got that amp with a tone tubby speaker and a blue speaker, and I wanted it to break up at really low volume. And he did a great job with that. And I have that amplifier here as like a novelty in the shop. People come in and play it all the time and go, hey, that's pretty cool, you sell it to me. Nope, go get one from Stosh. Anyway, Stosh looked at the amplifier and a lot of work had to be done, which I already pretty much assumed was the case. What I didn't expect was him telling me you could have electrocuted yourself. And I was like, oh boy, Class A amplifiers. And all I was doing was plugging it in and playing it, and I could have got electrocuted. You know, I wasn't even messing with the back or taking it apart or anything like that. So he had to replace the eyelet board, and he had a source for those, and he redid the entire eyelet board. And then he told me the really good news is that my amplifier is not a 1968, it's a 1964. And that means that it came with cloth-covered wires before they had gone over to plastic-coated wires and everything else. So the amplifier is back, and when I get a really talented guitar player in here, not me, I am not that talented, I'm a hack. I will record some of it and get the sound balanced a little bit. Remember, I'm recording through an iPad, so don't be too critical on what you hear coming out of it. So anyway, the third part of this week was, and this has been going on more than a week, I agreed after saying I would never do it again to run sound for a band. And the band is Shari, Frink, and the Mission, and they're a Christian contemporary band, and they're pretty good. And they had scheduled an outdoor performance for last week that luckily got canceled because I have not been able to EQ this band or save a scene on my equipment. I run a Midas MR18 and MR12 digital boards, digital rack mixers, so I haven't been able to EQ them. Now they are practicing, and I go to their practices, in about a 12 by 16 foot room with an 8-foot ceiling. Now somebody out there is going to go, I could EQ that band in there and get a usable EQ to use at an outdoor event. Yeah, well that's you, that's not me. My ears are 63 years old, and I need a big space to EQ a band correctly so they sound good at all levels. And people will argue this. Stop typing. I'll give you some examples. We've all seen the guitar player who's gotten up on stage at an open mic night, hooked up his amplifier and guitar and strummed a chord, then looked at it in dismay, like, what is that sound that is betraying me coming forth from my amplifier? I must have knocked the knobs in transit. And then he examines it and finds out they're the same settings he had in his bedroom. So then he goes after the guitar and goes, well, something must be off. I must have knocked the knob in transit again. And that's not it. And then he goes after the tuning, only to find out that he EQ'd that guitar in a small space. And what I have to say about this, and I do sound because of the difficulties that are required to be overcome with the job. And in a small space, you have reflections that come back at you. It's much like when we first discovered reverb on our amplifiers, and we were like, oh, this will cover all my mistakes. No, it really doesn't. Same thing here. Because you have all these reflections coming back to you before the sound wave is completed, it sounds good. It's like when you're in the shower and you think you sound like Robert Plant. Then when you get in the living room and try singing the same song and your significant other throws something at you. All the reflections coming back help you with that. And I'm sure there are guys out there that have the ears that can EQ in a small space and translate it to an outdoor venue. Now, I've run sound for bands for over 20 years, 24 years, and I've done it in small and medium-sized venues. I've run open mic nights, I've run jam sessions, all running the PAs. All rooms are different, time of year is different, air density is different, things change constantly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the band out here in the studio, the rehearsal space, and we're going to run them through the mixes. Now this week I spent a lot of time setting up all the equipment because I want to be as prepared as I can be. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is today's Friday, and they're going to come load in tomorrow and then do the practice on Sunday. So I have both my MacBook Pro and my iMac set up out here, running through my Roland Octacapture interface into the MR18 mixer. So I could actually take stems from my Logic Pro DAW system and send it out through the mixer so I could get a baseline EQ on every instrument before they even show up. So I should just be fine tweaking everything once they get here and working on who wants what in their monitor mix. So I'm looking forward to that this Sunday, and we'll see if we can get that going. They are on iTunes and Spotify, so it's Shari, Frink, and the Mission if you want to look those up. I'll include Stosh's phone number and the description, so you can give him a call if you're in the Sarasota general area, or even down in Naples, or up to, Pinellas Park and all that area up by St. Pete, and you need a good solid tube repair guy. He's your guy for tube amplifiers, trust me. So this is Tom from Talon Guitar Works. Remember, only half my ideas are any good. You got to decide which half. And we're going to catch up on some of the videos, and we're going to be running some of the big power tools in here and doing some neck carves and some other stuff in the upcoming shows. So stay tuned. Bye.